introduce, my name is Lebo Afiya, Dr. Lebo. And I'm standing right here, so privileged. Thank you so much, Prophet Rem. Did I pronounce it properly? And Mamuruti, and a church at large. Apology if I break English. I'm not very good at English. I thought I was going to speak in Setswana, but you know what? Just bear with me. As it was indicated, I'm a nutrition consultant by profession. I only have a few minutes for this short presentation. Usually, nutrition is very neglected, and I'm super excited that I was invited this morning to church, and hopefully it will be a start of bigger things. I think with COVID-19, it has really opened our eyes. I can't even begin to state how much nutrition played a major role in our immune system. And now people are more aware of their health. And it's important that this morning, even though I may not be able to cover everything on nutrition, but it will make you think. I chose a topic called intuitive eating, or mindful versus mindless eating. If I were to ask any of you, you don't have to answer, what did you eat yesterday? Most people, when you ask them what they ate, number one, it depends who's asking. If it's a doctor, they will select things that seem impressive. If it is to their friends, they will say fancy things, fancy wines, this and that. So from my experience, as it was indicated with more than 20 years of experience, most people do not register exactly what they eat. That's just human nature. For example, you may eat, let's say, a piece of chocolate. But if I were to ask you what you ate, you'll mention the main meals. Maybe your breakfast, maybe your lunch, or your supper, depending on what you prefer. And this mindless kind of eating, sometimes, you know, when somebody gains weight or when they get diabetes, they'll say, but I eat healthy, because they are only selective on what they choose to register in their mind. So mindless eating is a starting point. You need to be aware of what you eat. Why are you eating? Are you eating for pleasure, or you are eating for nourishment? I'm guessing that, you know, obviously as very spiritual people, you are very, how do I put the word, disciplined. Well, expectation is that compared to an ordinary person out there, you are disciplined. But then you have to ask yourself, what about other areas of your life? Are you disciplined? Because if you are going to be healthy, and it's not about keeping a certain body size or whatever, it's about nourishing your body. What do you put in your body? I'm guessing you don't drink alcohol. But there are some foods that maybe you should not be eating, but even though your body rejects them. You know that for some people, not that the food is bad, but your body is rejecting that food. If you eat, for example, and then you get bloated, you get constipated, that's your signal. You know, our bodies are always talking to us. Are you listening to your body, or you're only listening to the Holy Spirit? But sometimes it can be the Holy Spirit that is talking to you in many forms, you know, but you are not listening. You are expecting, you know, I don't know, fire to come down from heaven or something. I don't know. But you have to start listening to your body. When you are dehydrated, your mouth gets dry, you know, or it smells. You know, are you listening to your body? So by being mindful, those small things, you are more aware of them so that you make certain changes. Some people eat too much. Mo motho a reng a nna ke motho le nama. I'm a meat person. Isn't it prophesying on yourself for that to happen? Ga isule isule. Akere. What does that mean? You know you are diabetic, or you've been told you are pre-diabetic, but you just be eating. Hey, but you are eating. But when you are mindful, a person who's mindful, once they see the food, they're able to say, this food is not for me. You don't even need to taste it. That's being mindful. When they go to a funeral or to some function, because they know that they have a special way of eating. And they don't trust that where they are going, the food is going to be according to their needs. That's being mindful. And when you get to a buffet, you don't just say, What happens when you get to a buffet? You want to put custard with samp in the same plate. That is being very greedy. And I'm guessing it's one of the things that are preached against. Don't be greedy with food because it will make you sick. There's a reason why you get diabetes, hypertension, why your immune system is low and you can't cope with COVID. So hopefully from going forward, you'll understand that God gave us food and it's very nutritious, but we shouldn't abuse it. It doesn't mean that just because you want to lose weight, then you over consume certain things. That's been toxic to your body. So I'm not trying to be too technical, but our bodies are very complex structures with different chemicals. When you look at the digestive system, from the mouth all the way down to where the food comes out, there are certain processes that happen along the way. So if you don't chew food, what's going to happen? If you eat too fast, Actually, some people just eat, they don't chew, they just swallow. Or when they gulp that fizzy drink, and justify it. I don't mean to identify a brand, but I know most people have that addiction. And I'm guessing it's a sin to have an addiction. Because I do see church people. I don't see people outside the church. And most of my clients nowadays are middle age. I think around this age, yeah. And somebody will blame COVID for their diabetes. I think one thing that is good about COVID is that it just brought out exactly who you are regarding your health. If you are not a person who exercises, when you have the respiratory distress, do you expect your lungs to function well? No, you can't. So most people will say, I did not have diabetes, but after COVID, I was told I had diabetes. Yes, it was just hiding. And it depends on what you put in your body. If you are mindless and you add those teaspoons of sugar, pretending that people don't see you. You know how some people, they talk so that you don't count. They talk. When you wash the cup, at the bottom of the cup. And they wonder, they justify it and say, at least but sugar is a bigger drug. because it gets you sick over years. I'm not trying to justify alcohol, but at least with alcohol, there's a warning. Your brain signals what you've had too much. But with sugar, it doesn't signal that you've had too much. Being mindless means before you taste food, you salt it. I mean, that's an offense to somebody who's invited you to their house and you salt their food. At least itshware, o tla loka ko lapeng. Itshware. There are certain habits that we do that are very offensive. You go to somebody's house and you are just mad. Yes, yes, even at home, can we respect food? Do you eat around the table? I'm not saying, most of us can afford fancy things, but there's a way to improvise with what you have. Or do you eat on your lap? O harampa eo. No, we don't. I'm not trying to be funny, but all of us are not perfect. I'm not saying we all have six-pack or anything. But there are certain habits that make our bodies just horrible. I guess you are taught how to sit properly, sitting upright, eating a certain way. So if you are eating on your lap, what is going to happen to that tummy? Hang. We all have kids. I have 3 of my own, so I'm not expecting to be a size 0. But at the end of the day, you try to make yourself better. That's why you go to school, right? To make yourself better. So similarly to, I only have 5 minutes left. Similarly to making yourself healthier. You are not saying I'm competing with my Lebo. You are saying I'm going to be a better version of me. And this is the perfect group to talk to because you can't just be holy all the time. There are certain things that people miss on being spiritual. They just want to be. So you have to learn. Read. Don't read fake news. Use me. Ke Malebogo, PhD. I'm saying this because Rainyata. Somebody can trust fake news rather than Malebogo. Are Malebogo Radisil? I'm from Radisil, by the way. So there are a lot of professionals who I'm guessing that they will be coming this month, and trust them for the information. Don't trust fake news on the internet and say, but we are told to eat according to this. Why can't you trust a real professional? So as I conclude, hello khatella molaetsa wa me wa mindful eating. As you leave church today, ask yourself, okay, it's Sunday, it's supposed to be a family. I'm guessing most families are getting together for Sunday meals. I'm guessing, I don't know. But what is in the plate? Don't overdo it. Again, don't overdo it. Even as you go back to work tomorrow, don't try to impress people. I know Batswana, hey, Kimutswana. When you eat, the salad, they'll say, why slimmer? No. It's nourishing, you are nourishing your body. Don't be under peer pressure. Hella because your workmates go to a certain restaurant every day. You know you don't have money. or you can't afford that, and your body can't afford that, pack yourself something nice. Kore le motogo hela ha o apeile ka lerato. Huh? In a nice, packaged nicely with a nice bottle of water. If you love food, the food will love you back. I get it. So I thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm not trying to market myself, but I'm at Gaborone Private Hospital. I'm aligned with the hospital. I mainly see patients with different conditions, whether it's your diabetes and COVID. The whole of July, it was crazy. But we thank God that we are back here. Thank you so much for the extra time. I've never been honored like this. Usually people fall asleep when we give health presentations, but I really thank you for staying awake. I know it's a bit warm, but hopefully the next few minutes will be worthwhile. Most of the patients, like I indicated, that I see are with different conditions, mainly the diabetes, hypertension, and so forth. And by the time you get to refer to see a dietitian, most people don't want to see a dietitian. It's like coming to church. You know that you can try to negotiate with this person that, no, come to church, your life will change. But it's like that with trying to convince somebody to help so that they better their health. Kore already wa akanyela gore Malebogo wa gore ke ska ka ja nama. A kere ke go akanyetsa. Before they even go to through my door, they already say, o ka mpa mpola hela doctor. Kana, I know you dietitians, le advice ka jutsa sekgowa. Kore, people are very negative when it comes to changing their health. When you advise somebody that they should start exercising, they will tell you all sorts of excuses. They will tell you, kana exercise is not running. It's being physically active. Instead of just sitting the whole day watching TV or on your screen, why can't you, any form of physical activity? Similarly to eating healthy. Some people have that's being lazy. And they will tell you, when you ask what exactly is light, oh wow. Where is where is what's the word you're so cool? Yes. Imagine feeding your husband bread and tea every day. No, honestly. No, ask him. No, he cooks. Yeah, he cooked this morning. We had bread and beans. No, but it was a nice meal. Yeah. So my point is, when you're trying to manage a certain condition or your weight, and get me right, I'm not saying all of us should be slender. But if you are 80 kg, you should at least try to be 10 kg lesser. Because that is unhealthy, especially if you are triple digits. Because if you are more than 100 kg, and it's not body shaming, sometimes we are so sensitive. We don't want to be told exactly what the truth is. As the prophet was saying that, sometimes you don't need to be prayed for something that you can do. Why should you, I'm not saying you shouldn't fast and pray, but you know that your habits are the ones that are making your sugars to be all over the place. You'd rather spend more money in medication, when you could be doing other things. Give me that money. I see you don't have need for it. Because somebody would rather go and do very expensive tests. Already they know what they are doing that is wrong. If you are constipated, why should you go and do a colonoscopy? Why can't you just drink water and change your diet? A very painful procedure. Somebody will go and do a barium. What's that? I just forgot the name. But they know that they eat bread every day. They know that they eat, what you call starches. Breakfast, lunch, supper. Ha gona la ile carrot nyana ile one he. La ile morogo wa 5 pool. Food is not expensive, it's how you manage it. If you are going to be buying 12.5, who are you buying it for? I know we eat pap, but do you need 12.5? Where is that 12.5 going? What's in your freezer? Can I open your pantry and smile? What's in there? I'd rather have an empty fridge. I'm not fussy. Even, the reason I brought Mr. Iluya is so that I don't lie. If you were to open our fridge, it's not because we can't afford, well, some things we can't afford, but because we want to deter. If you are going to have all sorts of juices and drinks, our kids, right? Body yogurt, goes to the fridge. Huh? Repakela bana dipoloni every day. Huh? And rona re ja di salad. Ngwana eno ja dipoloni. What is it doing to their health? Every day, imagine those chemicals inside their bodies. And we find all sorts of excuses why we are not doing things right. Kana ke busy, I can more praise and worship. I'm a student, I don't have time, but you have time for other things. When I went back to school for my master's, I was heavily pregnant. UK. But I made time because I knew what I wanted to do. Even for my PhD, I was a mother, I was a full-time employed, because you make time. So if you want to eat healthy, be healthy, exercise, if I were to ask you, do you have a meal plan for this coming week? Do you have it? What are you going to eat this week? So then how do you evaluate something that you have not planned for? Do you expect that six-pack to come, but you don't have a plan? Huh? But it doesn't matter hormonally, limitations, society finance or whatever, you plan. Okay, fine. I'm going to have spinach Tuesday lunch. Spinach for that day. You plan. Then at the end of the week, you evaluate how your health is. You don't need a doctor to examine you. One of the reasons we are not productive is because of that, lack of planning. So you get fatigued. So now when we talk about just a few minutes on weight management, I know most people, they are big on wanting to lose weight and everything. But it's very complicated. You cannot, it's against nature to want to lose weight. So you have to trick your body. Again, it's against nature. I mean, you can't control that you get pregnant, for example. You're just hoping. Am I confusing you? Okay. Yeah, you are just hoping that you do the right things and then the baby comes. But it's not guaranteed that you'll get pregnant. So similarly to our bodies, we think we can control our bodies. We can't. So what you feed it depends on how your body reacts. That's why I took all those years studying how feeding your body does to your body. So you don't have the answer, I do. Okay, so I'm about to conclude. I was talking about how to manage your weight. And initially, I talked about batubalo and sukirager. And I talked about habitia body fizzy drinks. I talked about bomonaming. I talked about hojaboro tota zilletsite. Kuri dijo sonto rudi harlo kanye sinte. Dinele color, not just one color, not just brown. Because all the different colors, they mean something. That, onion, that tomato, that spinach, that mushroom, that red cabbage, that, mabele, all those colors, they mean something. So evaluate your plate with color. I'm not saying they should contain all the colors, but in a week, you cannot have a balanced plate, but a balanced diet. Because we are preaching balanced diet means you eat everything in one meal. It means mo baking. I can ha ile gore o jele carrot Monday, wa go ja morogo la bobedi. Hela yalo. I can le gore o di pataganya yang. A o pataganya bogobe ka phalishi. Some people, they have funny way of combining food. And the portion sizes. Portions is not based on self-tulang, but it's based on the ingredients. I'll repeat that. Portions are not based on what you dish out, but rather the ingredients that you put during cooking. I don't know why. Why? Bocasted. So at the end of the day, you say, but mabele. But mabele, I'm not saying bohobale rote is not healthy, but it's a meal on its own. It's a complete meal. How ko kwa bojala ka nama le morogo le chakalaka. Already bunale the fruit, the juice, le madila. It's a complete meal. All right, thank you so much and have a lovely day.